Hello and welcome to Crimes of the Heart Tarot. I'm Miss Vicki, and I'm going to use the tarot to see if we can gain more insight into unsolved mysteries, deaths, and disappearances. Let's get started. Welcome to Crimes of the Heart Tarot. Today I want to do a reading, a really sad, tragic reading about a little boy, Harley Dilly, who was 14 years old in Port Clinton, Ohio. And he was reported missing December 20th of 2019. And this is a request from one of my viewers. It took me a while to get around to doing this, but I want to go ahead. I read up on it and I was just horrified at what I read about this poor little boy. Anyway, the basic story is that it was December 20th of 2019, 14 years old, and he went missing. It was the very last day of school before Christmas, and we're doing this just right at Christmas time. It was 5 days before Christmas, and he had some issues. I believe he was autistic or on the scale. They call it on the scale, I think. His parents had trouble with relating to him, being a caretaker or a relative of someone that has some autistic abilities, I'm going to call them, because there's a lot of geniuses that are considered on the autistic scale. Elon Musk, for one. But he was very independent. He was set in his ways. Sometimes he'd just leave and they didn't know where he went. It's sad that they weren't able to get help to understand how to deal with him. He was popular at school. He had friends. He even had a girlfriend. But he did have problems. He took several baths a day. It was all kind of consistent with autistic type people. I'll say type because he was never actually diagnosed. But he had a lot of the earmarks of it. Very set in his ways. He had to eat a certain way, and he didn't seem to follow the rules and regulations that a lot of people do, especially 14-year-old children. He wasn't a delinquent. He wasn't retarded. Nothing like that. He probably would have been a genius if he hadn't tragically died. He was found. This is so horrible. About 3 weeks later, January 14th of 2020, in the chimney, lodged in the chimney of the house directly across the street from his home. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is all speculation on my part, and it's just my opinion of reading the cards, but I had to look into this further. And I'm going to use the Winter Weight Tarot. It's got it's based on the Rider Waite, but it has Christmas images, because this is when this happened to him. Now he's 14 years old. 14-year-old boys have a lot of imagination, and especially if you have some autistic inclinations. Things don't quite compute with the, I'm going to say, average person. They have, and this is all alleged, it's just what I've read online, a lot of the people diagnosed as autistic have a little bit trouble with balance. They just look at things different. They were just wired a little bit different. I'm just going to put some cards down and just see if I can figure out why this happened. Now, the house across the street was vacant. An older couple owned it, but it was sort of their, I guess, a summer or winter house. And it did have a chimney. It was directly across from Harley's home. It also had a large antenna on the roof, and it had a ladder attached to the side of the house, a permanent ladder, which is what they think Harley used to go up onto the roof. It was unusual a long time ago, several years ago, to have antennas like that. And this is what I think happened. I mean, they found him in the chimney. He died of compression asphyxiation. It's just horrible, horrible. He couldn't get out of the chimney. He went down, but it was blocked. They had been remodeling. And it had nothing to do with his parents. People were sending hate mail and everything to his parents. But I think he just looked at things a little differently. One other thing about being autistic is looking at scale, trying to figure out how size and volume work. Some people have trouble with balance, but it's kind of like trying to put, like, say, a bowl of leftovers into a tiny little container and not realizing that it's not going to fit. Of course, I've kind of done that too, but just volume, looking at something and being able to figure out exactly how that worked. That's one of the main things that some of these people have. He could have been a genius. I mean, he was well liked at school. And this time of the year, 14-year-old boys, what's on TV all the time? It's Christmas. All right. The first card we have, and I'm just going to kind of turn these over and see if I can figure out why he did this. Why did he go down the chimney like that? And what I'm getting is 14-year-old boy. All over the internet, all over TV that time of year is Christmas. Christmas things. It's all Christmas. I think he was looking forward to Christmas. He liked school, apparently, from what his parents said. He had friends. I'm just going to turn these over one by one and see what stands out to me. I'm trying to get into his mental space at the time. 14-year-old boy. What do you see all over TV? Christmas things. Christmas, Christmas. First thing that stands out to me is he felt a little bit different. He was somewhat different, out in the cold sometimes, but I don't think it was a really bad thing for him. I think he was coping. He was coping. And I see the Wheel of Fortune. This was unfortunate. This was just something that happened. No one was involved. It wasn't like a conspiracy or anything like that. But look at this. Visions of candy, visions of this. All over these cards. The Knight of Pentacles, the slow-moving knight. His death was slow and horrible. It was horrible. This is what he was thinking about. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. A few more cards. I think 14-year-old boys, they live half in reality and half in fantasy. And I think he was a victim of possibly just fantasizing about Christmas. And what I'm really getting strongly, it's not in these cards yet, but this is what I'm getting, is he was fantasizing about what he saw on TV, Christmas. He was seeing, there's the death card. I think he was seeing the Santa story. I mean, I don't see it specifically, I don't think Santa's in these cards, I'm not sure. But I'm just getting, he did die. I don't know how long it took him, it's horrible, but I'm getting that his head was just full of the Christmas stories. That's what I'm getting from these cards. And what do you really think about when you see some of the movies, even the cartoons, the things online? You see Santa. And what do you see? You see Santa going down the chimney. Wow, there he is right there. All right. This is what he was fantasizing about. I get this really strong. This is it right here. I think, and this is only my opinion, by what the cards are showing me, the Christmas scene, all the things, I'm trying to put myself in his imaginings. Santa going down the chimney. What are all these cartoons and these specials and books and things you read online when they talk about Christmas? They talk about Santa going down the chimney. And this is the Empress, bringing goodies, bringing everything. I think I'm really getting this really strong. I think he didn't realize that that wasn't real. And I don't mean that he was, not of his right mind. I think he was, let's just say he was intrigued with Santa going down the chimney. The world. Yes, that's an ending there too. And then we have the Fool. All right, this is him taking a leap of faith. I think he believed in the Santa story, Santa Claus. Everywhere you look at Christmas time is Santa going down the chimney with a pack of toys and goodies. And Santa just goes down the chimney. He fits real good. He has no problem. He's got a sack on his back with goodies. He goes into a wonderful room with a fire and with cookies and milk and tree and presents. I think he took a leap of faith into the chimney, and he wanted to see if he would see what Santa sees. And I think he may have even talked about it with his friends. Maybe they debated. 14-year-olds, I mean, look at that. All the fantasy programs there are, the books, the Harry Potter. Anything is possible that you dream about. This is what I'm seeing him doing. He took a leap of faith. He put his coat down first. He had a little flashlight. But he didn't realize, I truly do not believe he realized that he didn't fit down there. And that was not like a cartoon. It wasn't like a fairy story. It wasn't magic. He was thinking he was going to go into a magical world. He was going to go down the chimney, just like Santa, see all the wonderful things in the house, cookies and milk and trees. And he just didn't understand. I'm not so sure he positively bought the story, but he was intrigued enough to jump into that chimney. And he had to have just jumped into it. He was wedged. It's so sad. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing him, Christmas time, the fantasy. He just believed. He believed that there was another world, and he wasn't mentally something wrong with him. How many young boys do you know that live in a fantasy world? A lot of them, maybe even most of them at that age. Fantasy life, and it's all over the internet. I mean, look at all the movies, look at all the books. I keep thinking of Harry Potter, but that's just one example. I think he really thought he was going to find a wonderful world down there. And it's so sad. That's kind of all I'm getting, that it was just a tragedy. He wasn't retarded. He was just in a little fantasy world. And he didn't realize that he didn't fit down there. He didn't realize that because he had spatial problems. Well, it's a really sad story. They did find him. There was no one to blame. And it's sad that the parents couldn't have afforded to get him some kind of counseling, whether it really would have helped. Everything's expensive now. The cost of medical and any kind of ancillary help like that are almost prohibitive for anybody, even people that do have a good income. Anyway, sad. It's a sad tarot reading, but I was intrigued with it, and I wanted to do this for one of my viewers. But that's what I think. Please subscribe to my channel, leave kind comments, let me know what you think. And watch Afterlife Adventures with Amanda. You want to open up your mind, you should watch her spirit box sessions. They're just amazing. Anyway, I want to thank you. Please subscribe. Please refer to people. Refer to my channel. Keep me going. Let me know if you want me to continue doing tarot readings. Give me some ideas. And I'm going to close the circle. And we'll see you next time. Bye.